question that makes you think. Have you ever felt that certain things in life happen in a way that you just can't explain? Moments that seem strangely familiar, as if you've lived them before, but you can't quite recall when? Perhaps a recurring dream, an unexplainable fear, or an instant connection with someone you've only just met. We often attribute these experiences to fate, luck, or even call it karma. But what does karma really mean? Is it something mystical, beyond our control? Or is it a natural law, simple yet profound, that shapes every moment of our existence? Today, we'll explore a fresh perspective on karma, reincarnation, and the very notion of who you are, not just through the lens of Buddhist philosophy, but also by weaving in insights from modern science and psychology. You don't have to believe in reincarnation, but if you view karma through the principles of cause and effect, or the way habits shape behavior, you'll realize it influences our lives far more than we often recognize. On this journey, we won't just talk about theories. We'll look at real-life examples, inspiring stories, and practical ways you can shape a better future for yourself, starting right now. So, open your mind, and let's explore one of life's greatest mysteries together. Are your past lives truly watching over you? Or are you the one creating your own future, moment by moment? Karma. Understanding it to live better. Karma is not some cosmic punishment. There's no invisible point system tracking your every action to reward or punish you. In reality, karma is simply the law of cause and effect. What you sow, you shall reap. But the most important part of karma is not the action itself. It's the intention behind it. For example, imagine two people donating money to an orphanage. One gives out of compassion, while the other does it for social recognition. The action is the same, yet the karma they create is entirely different. Why? Because intention, satana, is what truly matters. A new perspective. Instead of thinking, I must be suffering because of bad karma from past life, ask yourself, what kind of karma am I creating for my future right now? This is where real transformation begins. Karma is not a fixed fate. A common misconception is that karma is an unchangeable destiny. In reality, Buddhist teachings emphasize that karma is fluid. It can be transformed. You're not trapped by the consequences of your past if you become aware of them and choose to act differently. For instance, if you have a habit of reacting with anger and hurting others, that does not mean you are doomed to be this way forever. The moment you decide to respond with patience and understanding instead, you are creating a different karmic path, a new pattern. Karma and habit formation. Imagine a stream of water flowing through a landscape. At first, it follows the path of least resistance, carving a natural groove. But if you redirect the flow repeatedly, over time, it creates a new path. Karma works in the same way. Your repeated actions become habits, and your habits shape who you are. If you consistently act with kindness, kindness will become your nature. Conversely, if you keep feeding anger, it will become deeply ingrained in your mind. Science and karma. Modern psychology supports this idea. The human brain has something called neuroplasticity, meaning it can physically rewire itself based on your habits and experiences. When you practice qualities like patience or gratitude, the neural connections that support those traits become stronger, making it easier to sustain those mindsets. In other words, just as karma is shaped by repeated choices, so is your brain. Every decision you make has the power to reshape how you think and behave in the future. A story to illustrate karma. There's a Buddhist story about two men stranded on a boat in the middle of a storm. One spends his time worrying about his fate, while the other focuses on rowing towards safety. When a storm hits, the first man panics and freezes, while the second stays calm and steers them ashore. This story highlights an essential truth. Instead of obsessing over past karma, we should focus on what we can do now to create a better future. How to change your karma right now. So, how can you start transforming your karma today? Here are 3 essential principles. 1. Live with awareness. Before taking action, pause and ask yourself, is this beneficial for myself and others? 2. Practice compassion. Even small acts, like offering a kind word or a smile, can create a ripple effect of positive energy. 3. Cultivate wisdom. Learn to see the deeper nature of life. Understand that everything operates on cause and effect, and that your choices have power. Final insight. You don't have to change overnight, but even the smallest steps can lead to a massive shift. Don't think of karma as something distant or beyond your control. It's woven into your thoughts, words, and actions, and you have the ability to change it at any moment. Rebirth? Does it really exist? Many people think of rebirth as an immortal soul jumping from one body to another. However, the Buddhist perspective is entirely different. There is no fixed, unchanging self that continues across lifetimes. Imagine lighting a candle. If you use this flame to light another candle, the fire continues burning. But is it the exact same flame as before? Similarly, the stream of consciousness and karmic energy flows from life to life, but there is no permanent identity that carries over. To understand this more deeply, let's consider the phenomenon of déjà vu, that eerie feeling that you've experienced something before, even though you can't recall when or where. Some scientists believe this is just a glitch in memory processing, but from a Buddhist perspective, it could be a remnant of past life experiences. Intense emotions and profound memories may leave imprints in the mind, resurfacing when the right conditions arise. Real-life examples of rebirth. Some individuals are born with extraordinary talents that seem to appear out of nowhere. Take Mozart, for example. He composed music at the age of 5 with no formal training. Or consider people who naturally speak a language they've never studied. Is this simply a case of innate genius, or could it be traces of past life karma? Buddhism suggests that these inborn tendencies are not memories carried by a soul, but rather imprints of consciousness that persist from one life to the next. Science and rebirth. Professor Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia conducted extensive research on children who recalled past lives with astonishing detail, so precise that some cases could even be verified. Many of these children were born with birthmarks corresponding to fatal wounds from their previous lives. While science has yet to provide a definitive explanation, these cases raise profound questions about the continuity of consciousness beyond death. A broader perspective: if there is no unchanging self, then why do we feel connected to something beyond this one lifetime? The idea of rebirth does more than explain strange experiences. It serves as a reminder that every action in this life matters. The choices you make today don't just shape your present, but also ripple into the future, possibly beyond this lifetime. So if you wish for a brighter future, start by living mindfully and compassionately right now. Karma and parallel universes. Can multiple lives exist at once? Modern science is exploring a fascinating concept: the multiverse. If infinite parallel universes exist, could there be multiple versions of you, each living in a different reality, shaped by different choices? Science and parallel universes. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, every decision we make could split reality into multiple branches. In one timeline, you turn left; in another, you turn right. Both versions of you exist simultaneously, each continuing their separate experiences. Interestingly, Buddhism, thousands of years ago, described countless worlds where sentient beings exist in different forms. Some scriptures mention thousands of Earth-like realms, each with its own conditions and laws. The connection between karma and parallel universes. If the multiverse theory is true, karma may not just shape the future of one version of you. It could ripple across multiple realities. For example, imagine that today you choose forgiveness over resentment. In a parallel universe, another version of you might have chosen the opposite path. These two versions could lead to completely different outcomes, not just in this lifetime, but possibly across multiple dimensions of existence. Rebirth in a multiverse. Buddhism teaches that rebirth is not limited to a single linear timeline. Instead, it could be a complex network of interwoven karmic causes and effects. Our actions might not only shape our next life in a conventional sense, but could also influence different versions of ourselves and other realities. A thought-provoking question: if every choice creates a new reality, is there a better version of you out there? And if so, is there a way to align yourself with that version? A practical perspective: while the multiverse remains a scientific hypothesis, reflecting on it can teach us an important truth: every choice matters. By choosing compassion, wisdom, and kindness today, you're creating a better life, not just for yourself, but for the world around you. And whether or not parallel realities exist, the power of your decisions is real in this moment. The final takeaway: imagine that with every moment, you are shaping countless possible futures. Which reality do you want to move toward? The choice is yours right now. Is your past life watching you? When people hear the phrase, "your past life is watching you," they often imagine an old version of themselves observing and judging their current actions. But is that really the case? Buddhism does not believe in a fixed self that carries over from one life to another, monitoring what happens. Instead, what follows you is the consequences of your past karma, not a conscious entity, but the results of choices you have made before. Karma doesn't forget you. Have you ever wondered why some people are naturally gifted in music, art, or science, while others have to struggle much harder to reach the same level? One possible explanation is that efforts and habits from past lives continue to shape us in this one. There have been cases of children remembering past lives with remarkable accuracy. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a researcher on reincarnation, collected thousands of cases where children recalled names, locations, and experiences from a previous existence. While science has not fully verified these accounts, they raise an intriguing question: could something from the past still linger in our subconscious? Psychology and the influence of hidden memories. In psychology, there's a concept called cellular memory, the idea that experiences can be deeply imprinted in our subconscious, influencing us long after they happened. For example, if someone has an irrational fear with no clear cause, could it be a remnant of a traumatic event, not just from their current life, but from an earlier existence? A thought-provoking question: if past actions can influence the present, can we change the future by transforming our thoughts and behaviors right now? A fascinating case study. One well-known story from India tells of a young boy who recalled specific details about a previous life. He accurately named his past family members, described his former home, and even recalled how he had died. When researchers investigated, they found that many details were surprisingly accurate. If there is no permanent soul, where do these memories come from? How can awareness of the past help us live better? Whether or not you believe in reincarnation, one thing is clear: our actions leave an imprint. The habits and choices we made in the past influence our present reality. This also means that what we do today will shape our future. Ask yourself, Keycap 1, what kind of karma am I creating right now? Keycap 2, could some of my current habits be influenced by my past? Keycap 3, if I want to change my future, what should I start doing differently today? Final takeaway: your past life isn't watching you in the way you might imagine. There's no unchanging self observing you from an invisible world. But the effects of your past actions are still with you, shaping your habits, tendencies, and experiences. And the best part? You have the power to change it, starting right now. How to create good karma and live a more meaningful life. Karma is not something fixed or unchangeable. On the contrary, it is a dynamic system, constantly evolving through our thoughts, words, and actions. If you want a better life, you need to learn how to cultivate positive karma, starting today. Practicing good karma in thoughts and actions. The first step to creating good karma is living with awareness. Every action, big or small, shapes our future. Start with simple yet powerful habits. Speak kindly to others. Help someone without expecting anything in return. Practice gratitude daily. Be patient and tolerant when facing challenges. The power of meditation and mindfulness. One of the most effective ways to transform karma is through meditation and mindfulness. When you observe your mind, you become more aware of negative thoughts and have the power to reshape them. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can choose to act with compassion and wisdom. Compassion and wisdom, the two key pillars. In Buddhism, cultivating compassion, metta, and wisdom, panna, is essential for transforming karma. When you treat others with kindness, both they and you receive positive energy. Wisdom helps you understand the impermanent nature of life, freeing you from unnecessary worries and attachments. By nurturing these two qualities, you not only create good karma, but also cultivate inner peace. Take action today to create a better future. Here are some practical steps to generate positive karma starting now. 1. Practice patience. See challenges as opportunities for personal growth. 2. Cultivate generosity. Dana. Share what you have, whether it's material wealth, time, or kindness. 3. Live with honesty and integrity. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. 4. Nurture gratitude. Focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Final thought. Your karma is in your hands. Karma is not a rigid fate. It is a series of choices you make every day. If you want a more meaningful life, don't wait. Start now. Small but meaningful actions today will shape not only your future, but also the world around you. What kind of seeds will you plant today?